News this morning, we'll show you how the frigid temperature has inspired one West Virginia couple to reach out to help people in need.
And back here in the Bluegrass, dozens install smoke detectors for free in one eastern Kentucky county.
Plus, Kentucky shoppers may want to listen up. There is a possibility that shopping might be a little more expensive next year.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It is 4:59. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Madison Pergram.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Mountain News on this Tuesday. In Madison, it is looking gorgeous outside.
Oh, yeah. You like the snow falling.
I do. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. And Brandon, you just said right before we went on here to Madison and I that you kind of expect this to be probably a trend that lasts throughout the day but shouldn't create any problems, right?
Here's the thing. We dealt with this all day yesterday, was expecting it to clear out. We're going to deal with it, I think, for most of the day today, and I'll explain why I think that here in a little bit, because the models are saying sunshine this afternoon, but they also said that yesterday. But let's take a look at current conditions first, and you see the last 6 hours of satellite radar, it just continues to loop here because we're seeing that upslope effect continue, all that moisture being pulled off of the Great Lakes. Temperatures not as cold as they were yesterday morning in some spots, still as cold as they were yesterday morning in others. 20s across a big chunk of the area, but you see some teens out toward Logan, Pikeville, and Wise this morning. You factor in the wind chill, it feels like single digits in Wise and close there in Monticello. Again, wind's not as bad as it was, but they're still coming in from the north. So your out the door forecast this morning, we are going to see temperatures climb to close to freezing. Tonight, that's a different story. It's going to be a tale of two skies for sure. We'll talk all about that coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
Alrighty, Brandon. Thank you, sir. Well, in West Virginia, the frigid temperatures led a married couple to wonder what they could do to help those that are less fortunate.
They collected donations of coats and blankets and left them at Harris Riverfront Park in Huntington for anyone in need.
Andrew Colgrove has more on how a simple idea is helping keep people warm.
People visiting the riverfront in Huntington on Martin Luther King Jr. Day were greeted with a display of charity.
It can get really cold out here, and it can get really tough.
Trees and benches at Harris Riverfront Park are lined with coats and blankets.
How beautiful it is that people are so caring and compassionate.
Now that temperatures have dipped back down to what we are more accustomed to in January, Katie Myers from Kids Hill, Ohio's thoughts turn to those less fortunate. Myers declined to do an interview on camera because she's adamant she does not want any spotlight for this. On Sunday, she and her husband left a large amount of warm clothes here for anyone in need. No questions, no judgment. Myers says she made a Facebook post letting her friends know she was going to be doing this. She says a whole bunch of people responded and dropped off bags of clothes and blankets at her house in Kids Hill for her to bring here.
Remind you that there are those less fortunate than us that could really use some attention right now.
People who stopped by the park Monday said it was touching to see the good deed.
For people that can't afford it or whatever their case is, where they don't have a jacket, it's a good thing that somebody did that.
I think it takes a certain kind of person to think less about themselves during winters where it's a hard time, and they come out and do things for other people. It takes a really selfless person.
Hoping to make a difference to help those in need better endure the freezing temperatures. Andrew Colgrove, WSAZ News Channel 3, Huntington.
Myers says she got a lot of donations from the Oakland Church in Lawrence County, Ohio as well. She says she will be back at the Riverfront Park Saturday, setting out more clothes so long as it doesn't rain.
And yesterday, dozens with Kentucky Power and the American Red Cross spent Martin Luther King Day of service installing smoke detectors for free in Letcher County. This was possible by a $40,000 grant from the American Electric Power Foundation. This was the second of 3 installations planned. One was held in the fall in Greenup County. The goal is to install 1,500 smoke alarms by the end of June.
That grant also provides smoke alarms to any county that we have. We actually give them to the fire department and they install them.
They plan to install the alarms in Pike County in May, and the detectors have batteries that will last 10 years.
A way to honor and celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. People throughout Perry County gathered at HCTC to enjoy food and fellowship while remembering the civil rights icon. Aaron Thompson, a guest speaker at yesterday's event, says it is all about working together to build a better tomorrow for future generations.
I believe in continuous improvement. I mean, I can look back and I can celebrate history, or I can even look at history and say, I don't want to celebrate that. And that's fine, but it should only be to give me a baseline.
Thompson encouraged people to be the solution to a problem. A group of people marched after the event from the college to downtown Hazard.
And it's a honeymoon experience a pair of Lexington newlyweds could not have planned for. UK doctor Jackson Smith and his wife Teresa took a trip to Hawaii for their honeymoon. They say during a multi-day hike, Smith took a 30-foot fall at the beginning of the hike. They say their planned 4-day adventure turned into 6 days after rain and floods trapped them with 11 other hikers on the trail. They were forced to wait until firefighters said it was safe to rescue them. But the couple says spending time with those other hikers taught them several lessons.
Teresa made a great comment on our way out. She said if the future of our world is dependent on the quality of those young people that we're with, we're going to be okay.
The couple says they hope to stay in touch with the other hikers that rescued with.
A Kentucky lawmaker is looking to boost the state's minimum wage. Democratic Representative Kathy Hinkle is sponsoring a bill that would raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2027. If it passes, this will be the first increase for Kentucky since 2009. The proposal is drawing mixed reactions and concerns. Some worry a minimum wage hike will mean higher prices.
And for Kentucky shoppers, there is a possibility that shopping might be a little more expensive next year. Democrat Representative John Sims Jr. is sponsoring a bill that would raise sales tax to 8% starting January 2021. If it passes, it would be the first sales tax increase since 1990.
The number of flu cases in Kentucky appears to be going down. Through the second week of January, the Kentucky Department for Public Health says just under 1,900 cases were reported. That is down about 300 cases from the week before. According to the health department, there's been just more than 10,000 flu cases this season.
Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning.
More news is on the way. Just ahead, one dog with an eyelid deformity spent 2 years in a shelter before finally getting a home through social media.
Snow showers will continue for some this morning, but cold temperatures will continue for all today. I'll tell you what you should expect both to end here in about 3 minutes.